The rain didn't simply fall that night. It hunted me, cold, sharp, relentless, like a truth that refused to be ignored. I stood at the edge of the curb in front of the house I'd grown up in, steam rising from my breath into the fading light of Boston's evening. My entire life was crammed into a drenched canvas bag slung over one shoulder. Just moments earlier, I had been their golden child. Now I was a ghost. I was 19, barely into my sophomore year, at Northeastern, when my parents, Vivian and Marcus Holt, locked me out of the life they had planned for me. Inside the sleek South End penthouse, the air was thick with tension, the kind you could taste mingled with leather polish and stale cigar smoke. "You're turning your back on everything we built, Liam," my mother snapped. Her tone was as cold as the marble tiles beneath our feet. "Photography," she spat. "That's your grand vision?" My father didn't speak. He didn't need to. The silence he held carried more judgment than words ever could. That silence had always been his final word, unyielding, absolute. They hadn't raised me to follow a dream. They had raised me to inherit the whole consortium, their powerful hedge fund that controlled a staggering portion of Boston's wealth. But I didn't care about quarterly reports or economic forecasts. I wanted light, texture, emotion, moments frozen forever through a lens. So I told them I was switching majors, dropping economics, choosing visual arts. Their reaction was swift and final. "Choose the company or you're out," my mother said. "Out of this house, out of this family." I chose to leave. The rain beat down as I walked into the night, my shoes slapping against wet pavement, my pulse echoing like the rapid click of a camera shutter. I never turned back, not when her voice cut through the storm behind me. "You'll come crawling back, Liam." Not when the city lights smeared across my vision, blurred by tears. I crashed on a friend's couch, Jasper's loft in Luston, a space that smelled of turpentine and old vinyl records. By day, I scrubbed dishes in a greasy diner. By night, I edited photo sets in a dim corner, my camera my only constant companion. Jasper, his fingers forever stained with oil paint, would clap me on the back and say, "You're wild, Liam. That's the good kind of fire." I'd force a smile. But inside, every frame I captured felt like I was carving away at my past, building something new, raw and painful, but real. 7 months later, I caught a break. A small gallery needed a photographer for an upcoming exhibit. They offered me $150 and a cup of coffee. It wasn't glamorous, but it was mine. Every photograph I submitted, street grit, stolen smiles, untold stories, was a silent rebellion against the world I'd left behind. 2 years passed. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I'd clawed my way into a junior photography role at a studio in Dorchester, working with local magazines and startup campaigns. Late nights turned into something more, a personal project I named Shuttersphere. It began as a passion, a platform for others to tell visual stories. From urban decay to dreamscapes, rough around the edges, but it struck a nerve. The downloads exploded. Dozens, then hundreds, then thousands. A well-known culture blog called it the heartbeat of the next art wave. Investors began to circle. I didn't seek them out. They came to me. By year 3, Shuttersphere had grown into a team with a dedicated studio in the Seaport District and a $12 million valuation. Jasper, now my creative director, would grin over pints at our neighborhood dive bar. From my busted couch to owning the whole frame, he'd say. I'd smile, but the wound never really closed. Not when I heard that my cousin, Leia, had stepped into the role I'd abandoned at Holt Consortium. Not when I saw my parents smiling in press photos, sipping champagne at charity galas like I'd never existed. Then everything shifted again. For years after that night soaked in rain, Shuttersphere had become more than a platform. It was a movement. Creators across the globe using it to power films, branded content, even AR experiences. We'd hit $60 million in revenue. I had a loft overlooking the harbor. Still wore hoodies. Still ordered cheap takeout. Then one foggy morning, my phone lit up. A number I had deleted, but never forgotten. My mother's. The phone rang. Once, twice, each chime yanking me back to that night outside their home. Her voice echoed in my mind. You'll come crawling back. On the seventh ring, I picked up. Liam, she said. Her voice was brittle, like glass under stress. We need to speak. I pressed my forehead to the cold glass, watching rain trace slow rivers down the window. Tell me when. I said, I'll be there. The whole consortium's tower gleamed like a dagger, all chrome and glass, a testament to their pride. I stepped inside, boots heavy against polished stone, walking past interns who froze when they saw me. A ghost in the house of power. In the penthouse boardroom, my mother sat at one end of a vast, sleek table. Her diamonds didn't sparkle. Her face was pale, hollow. My father stood near the windows, his stand stiff, cufflinks crooked, a detail he would have once never allowed. Leia lingered in a corner, arms crossed, her gaze sharp as a blade. Liam, my mother began, her voice splintered. The firm is hemorrhaging. I didn't flinch. I already knew. I'd follow their decline. Poor decisions, outdated strategies, and a market that had evolved into something they no longer understood. Artificial intelligence and data-driven investments that left them behind. They needed $10 million just to keep breathing. I know, I said, sliding a folder across the table. But I'm not here to bail you out. I'm here to take over. Silence. Thick, suffocating silence. Leia scoffed, a sound as sharp as it was bitter. You? Take over? I opened my laptop. Numbers lit up the room like fire. Shuttersphere's growth. Our reach. Global partnerships. Media dominance. My mother's complexion went ashen. Your Shuttersphere? Founder, I said, and CO. I leaned forward, my voice calm, precise, like the click of a shutter capturing the moment. You call me a disgrace. But I built something stronger than your empire ever was. Sign the deal by midnight, or it all crumbles. I stood and turned away, leaving the folder on the table. And use the pen on your desk, Mother. I added without looking back. The one you used to cut me off. I'm sure you still have it. At 11:52 p.m., they signed. Her hand trembled as she grasped the silver pen, the same one that had once severed my future. My father met my gaze. His eyes shone with something close to regret. You're like your grandmother, he said quietly. She saw what was coming and built this company for it. Somewhere along the way, we lost that vision. I nodded, something breaking open inside me. I didn't come here to destroy you, I said. I came to build something greater. As I walked out, the city lights shimmered below, alive with possibility. I didn't just win a signature. I proved I had never needed their chains to begin with. So let me ask you, what would you do if the people who cast you out came crawling back? Subscribe. Stick around for what's next. And drop a comment. Have you ever had to leave everything behind to find who you really are? Thanks for watching.